Hi, my name's Raj. I teach IT at Destiny Support in Chalvey, sunny Slough, Berkshire. About my experience, I've been in the computing field now since the 1970s. So, onto my story. There I was on enrolment day, ready with all the concepts of my guide to get the class started. Imagine how I had to change all my views on teaching the basic concepts of computers to a class. To say the least, one, I had to overcome a language barrier. Fortunately, I speak 4 other languages. My class, well, to say the least, they weren't ready to follow all the instructions given in my guide. So, first instant, on my one-to-one interview, I'm doing an evaluation with everybody. I found myself having to drop down a level or 2, or maybe quite a few, to bring myself in par with all my students. To give you an example, we had to understand the basic principles of what a hard drive was as a recording medium. So we had to go all the way back to a record player, which made life a lot easier for people to understand how a computer worked. The keyboard, simple principles of a typewriter. The screen, well, everybody's seen a television, so they know what they're going to see has to come from somewhere. Where can I start? Well, to give you an example, we have to understand the difference in a computer with, well, the operating system and what applications are all about. We had to make sure they understood the difference between the two, to make sure there's no misunderstanding. It's a bit like getting in a car. You start a car, well, it must have an engine, and the engine must be started in a fashion as to the design of the car. Nowadays you have electric cars, not the same as a petrol driven car, where you need an ignition key to fire up and start the engine. So basic principles explained to the class on a one-to-one level in different languages. It was great fun. Email, World Wide Web, well, how best do you explain something as complicated or be it as simple as that? Well, everybody's been to a library, so the library was based to the concepts of www, the World Wide Web. A search engine, say everybody's heard of Google, so we use that as an example. So what do you do when you go into a library? You go up to the librarian, you ask the librarian, who has a wealth of knowledge about how the contents of the library. Well, you ask the librarian a simple question. You're looking for a book on subject ABC. You ask the question, I'm looking for ABC, and the librarian would guide you to the first floor, section F, shelf 2, and you go away and you find it. Well, the Google search engine was explained much as the same way as that. You type in a question and you're given an answer. The library, being what it is exactly what the World Wide Web is, a wealth of information. You're taught how to ask the correct questions, and you're given a multitude of answers, and you read through it. Email. What did I have to do? Well, with the great aid of a whiteboard, we went through all the procedures involved in writing a letter. A blank piece of paper, an ink pot, a quill, no, just a joke, pen and paper, You start off writing your letterhead, write a letter, fold it, put it in an envelope, address the envelope, put a stamp on it, go down to the post office, post it, let it go down the sorting office, comes back to the postman, puts it through your letterbox. In layman's terms, that was easy to understand. And then explain the simple process of a single sheet on a screen which contains the words to. Well, that was explained as the full address, as to where it's going to get delivered to, who it's going to get delivered to. The letter being much the same as any other letter. And to get rid of the long-winded process, you simply press the send key. The amazement that everybody felt as to how easy it was wonderful, because it made them feel at ease. So, unfortunately, a whole new game plan had come into play, and I found myself not even getting to webinar because students still needed a lot of confidence building in wanting to use the basic concepts of a computer. So we went through all of that. I personally found myself having to drop my geekiness to understand how students will understand. And to the best of my ability, I think I've created a whole new learning curve for all these students to move forward into the world of IT. Only I hope I've made it very, very easy for them to understand. Again, thank you for listening.